Welcome back to another edition of Egghead Scramble Podcast. If you love the PGF, if you love Jiu-Jitsu, if you love grappling, this is the place for you. We're starting a new series today. We are going to start featuring gym owners from the different, Jiu-Jitsu gyms, MMA gyms from Colorado. Because that's the hallmark of the Colorado Wolverines. We're here to highlight Colorado athletes, Colorado gyms, Colorado businesses. And so, hey, this is all going to bring us all together. And very happy to have some people here that are, well, they're dogs of another name because they're super competitive, but they're also extremely loyal. Did a lot for us this season with the PGF, big supporters. Was the first gym we hit when we went out to Denver after the draft. Just believe in these guys. And excited to see them grow and to see, where they're going to be in the future. But with that, I have for you the owners of the SubHounds.
Howdy.
What's up, guys?
What an intro. What an intro, Egg. What an intro.
I do my best. So Anakin and Jimmy. Jimmy, I like it because the often does not go by, just goes by one name like the Egghead. I appreciate that. As a one namer myself.
Yep.
You, me, Cher, all other, one-liners. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
McMahon, he's not in hiding. He's actively trying to have people find him. So that's why he's given his last name, I guess. Obviously, like I said, love the merch. The hoodie that looks nice. I like the. I always like the kind of was it the houndstooth gray? It's one of my favorites. 100%.
Egg, I don't know if you know this, but Jimmy's a Marine.
Yes.
I'm just making sure you guys
not see these things.
You guys also have that in common. I was making sure you knew that, all right?
Okay. Well, let's go to the well. All right. Obviously, I already said you're the co-owners of the SubHounds, and how about we just say what the SubHounds is first, and then we'll go back, for a little bit of bios and for both of you. So I'll let you guys talk about the SubHounds a bit.
I'll take it away, Jimbo.
Yeah. So the SubHounds is really a competition team. The SubHounds started in my garage. We had some iterations before. We ended up in my garage, but the real core came together, and the kind of vision that has led us to where we are right now was started in my 2-car garage, 16-foot garage. And it's like we said, it's all about pushing the competition, both on the MMA and the jiu-jitsu side. We've always been a small team, and it's probably going to stay that way because we scrap every day, and it's a very intense room, but we have a ton of fun, and we're always just kind of looking for the next way to push the boundary for the entire team and for Colorado, because the Colorado scene is a lot of fun, and it's one of the MMA kind of hubs, at least of the U.S. And there's a lot of new gyms and teams coming up that are bringing it also up for that jiu-jitsu side. Right now, the jiu-jitsu side is definitely not as mature in Colorado as the MMA side, but it's definitely on the way up. And there's a lot of really good gyms and a lot of good teams and some really great competitors coming up. And we're just kind of trying to the tide, right? What's the saying? The tide rises.
Tide raises all ships.
All of that shit. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. And we're trying to ride that tide as well.
No, it's a very collegial atmosphere in Colorado. Definitely saw that all the open mats are truly open mats, and everyone's just super cool. I was super impressed. Like I said, the first gym we hit there, I think the night we got in after the draft, the PGF, I'm in there and people's making no big deal about it, but I'm like, oh my God, there's 2 different UFC fighters in this super little space. But there's a reason because there's a bunch of savages there.
Yep.
Very, very awesome. Anakin, anything to add about the SubHounds?
The culture, man, is the biggest part of what we got. It's just I always feel how blessed we are. Every night, as soon as we're done training, everybody wants to hang out for 30, 45 minutes, an hour, just to hang out, ask questions, and talk. And I always just feel so lucky to have a gym where people don't want to just leave as soon as they're done training. As soon as we're done training, everyone just ends up sitting on the mats and just wanting to talk. And so that's something that's just super special to me. Um, I also Jimmy probably had the Subhounds going for about a year before I started the team, and once I joined the team, man, I there's just nothing like it. I'm just like beyond grateful for what this team's given me, and then now I've been able to, I feel like, reciprocate that to some of our younger guys and our up and comers, and it's just it's a super special thing. It's definitely something that I'm gonna always want to be a part of.
So we're definitely going to hit this all on the back end too, but obviously, I think it's subhounds.com. Whereabouts are you located in Denver?
So we're down off of 62nd and Federal, so it's kind of right on the edge of Denver and Westminster.
Okay, all right, Good stuff. Like I said, great, nice, very nice facility, very good people, great vibe, very opening, although they are killers. They're welcoming, but be ready for a scrap. Should you go there. So Jimmy, I mean, I'd seen the photos in the past of the garage. I didn't know that it was your garage because obviously I did some research for Anakin before he was on season 5 with the PGF. So Jimmy, how long you been doing jiu-jitsu? And I think you have at least 3 different MMA fights too.
Yeah, so I mean, I started in martial arts back in 1997 when I was 7 years old. So I've done a lot of. I was mostly striking up until a few years ago. So I've been around kind of the martial arts world really the whole time. I remember the first time I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I heard about cage fighting, and I'd been fighting for a couple of years at that point. And I just heard on it was like ESPN, and they're talking about these guys. They're like basically cockfighting in these cages, and my dad was unimpressed, but I was just like, that sounds awesome. I don't know what it is, but that looks cool. And I got more into kickboxing and then boxing, and then in the Marines, I did a lot of training there as well. And so I've been around, especially the MMA side, for a long time, but I didn't start actual jiu-jitsu, like dedicated jiu-jitsu, really until 2020. And so once I started that, because I've had a lot of concussions from football, from the Marines, and from fighting. So the grappling side, it was kind of the natural progression because I wasn't getting punched in the face anymore. But then I got more into the jiu-jitsu side. The team kind of took off, and then I took a couple MMA fights too. So that's a long way to say I've been doing strictly jiu-jitsu for 6-ish years, but I've been around the fight world since '97. So it's been part of my entire, basically everything that I can remember of my entire life. I've always been around martial arts.
So if you came into the Corps right after high school, that'd bring you in the Corps about 2007, 2008. Is that about right?
2010. I graduated 2009 from high school, and then I went and played a year of college football before I dropped out, and then I joined. Then I joined the Marines. I tried to join the Marines in high school, but my dad was like, "You should go to college first. You've got some opportunities," and I wasn't mature enough for it then. So I was 25 after I got out of the Marines and went back to college, and I'd settled down enough to actually go to class. So that helps to actually get your degree.
100%. Your dad was right. The shiny side's it's a better life, but sometimes you need that extra pain to make you learn. Which that's also the enlisted guys get to have all the real fun. So you were I think if I remember you were Intel.
Yeah, I was a SIGINT operator.
Oh man, that means super smart. And then what did you study when you got out?
Electrical engineering and math.
So once again, kind of a smarty pants. So does that come in? Oh, I mean, come on. I got a computer engineering degree. I mean, 20-pound brain, recognized 20-pound brain.
Yeah.
So, Anakin, does he bring that his own 20-pound brain to the gym every time?
100%, man. This dude's a mastermind. If I'm truly Anakin Skywalker, Jimmy's definitely Palpatine. This dude's a genius. He's always thinking years in advance. I couldn't be more grateful for that. I'm just glad he's on my side.
No, definitely love it. Um, Outstanding. So, I guess Anakin, how did you get linked up with Jimmy and the SubHounds?
We truly the beginning of it was just me and Jimmy just bumping into each other at Vasa a bunch. And Jimmy would be running around Vasa barefoot, in his fight shorts, and he'd go kick the bag 100 times, and then go do a bunch of push-ups and go back. So we just would end up just chatting it up, and then he ended up just inviting me to go check out the Hounds at a little hole in the wall gym. It was like in like an office cubicle it was set up, and from there I went and trained once, and I just realized that I'd always had just like a sort of calling for jujitsu, but more than anything, it felt like my calling was like, oh, like this team for whatever reason. So the
Sure.
the moment I started, I truly haven't looked back.
Just instantly felt that kind of like simpatico
Yeah, man, it's
feeling of
it's
this.
that same wrestling room vibe, like the friendships that you want. Like it's just super special. And from the beginning, we never exactly had like a coach, like a jujitsu coach. So it was much like us trying to get each other better at jujitsu, and that was super important to me. Just
Well, and
like at
that's
that time, it was hard to find like someone that's trying to push into that next level of competitive jiu-jitsu in Colorado, and then finding a team where it was like, oh, like we have a goal to like try to do something. And so that was something that was really special to me.
yeah, and like
Jimmy.
when we started the team, I was still a white belt in jujitsu. Um, the guy who originally started it with me, Dylan Dewberry, he was a purple belt at the time. So you had a purple belt and a white belt, and we were competing a lot, we were training a lot, we were going to a bunch of open mats, and we just realized that we were making more progress at open mats on the weekend and doing our own self study than we were in class, because it was kind of taught very traditional jujitsu style, and we just didn't feel like we were making the progress we should have been making. And maybe we were arrogant, but we were just like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go through our own thing, for better or worse. Let's see what happens. And so that was really how we started it. I was a white belt, he was a purple belt, and we just slowly started recruiting other people who weren't happy with where they were. And from the beginning, we all were very aware that we did not know everything about jiu-jitsu, right? We were all babies in the jiu-jitsu and grappling world, but we were all so dedicated to it that it just became it was so um, tantalizing. Like, everybody who came around us that was also super into the learning side of it and was just trying to push those boundaries and was willing to ask the questions, they were just like, oh, this is what I've been missing where I was. And we started it as a team and not a gym, and that totally changes the way
The
that
dynamic.
that the entire room interacts with themselves, right? Again, I grew up playing a lot of sports, and then I joined the Marines, so being part of a team is a really important thing for me. And this thing that we've created has just morphed into the exact team that I always wanted and was always looking for wherever I was. And I feel like a lot of the guys who've stuck around feel the same way. Just like Anakin. Anakin's been grappling for, I don't know, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And so he kind of just hopped around to a bunch of different gyms. But I feel like he probably, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but just like he's talking about the gratitude that we all feel for this team, is just the actual brotherhood of what we're doing. And we're pushing those boundaries with each other and with the sport every day. And it's been really cool to just be a part of a team that is at least partially pushing the Denver scene. It's been a lot of fun. And again, it's all about the team. And we're now technically a gym, but if you walk into our practices, it's still a team environment and not a gym environment. And I'm really dedicated to keeping that mindset as we grow and not allowing it to become too corporatized and become more of a gym instead of a team.
No, I love it. So let's unpack a couple things there. So one, Vasa, for people that might not know, Vasa is
The local weightlifting gym.
Yep.
okay. Got it.
Yep,
All right.
the local commercial gym.
And that's where like 3 out of our first 4 recruits came from.
Yeah, just doing that, the hitting the crazy stuff and all the hit stuff. Got it.
The
All right, so,
sauna, man. The sauna, if for gym owners, man, if you're trying to pick people up, man, you better be sitting in your local sauna. Everyone's in there. Most people don't have headphones on. People see your gnarly ears. You get to talking, and before you know it, you've got somebody new at your gym.
I mean, I was questioning you for a second when you said pick people up because you do have a reputation at the Wolverines house. So, hey,
Allegedly.
Wow, I was there. I heard the reputation. So, Jimmy, is this, I've heard that you guys kind of call this American Jiu-Jitsu. Is that what you're kind of talking about? It's a little bit different. That kind of just like came up from you guys just figuring things out yourselves.
That came from, us figuring it out, but also, dude, I'm American. I was in the fucking Marine Corps. This isn't Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is a Japanese word to start off with. So, the Gracies learned Jiu-Jitsu from the Japanese. And if you actually look at what they did with the sport itself, they didn't really add a whole lot to the overall knowledge base or the technique base or the concepts from the original Jiu-Jitsu judo lineage. They just did a really good job of spreading the word through Brazil and now through the rest of the world. So I think that for me, it's just like, if I'm going to be in charge of a team in America, it's American Jiu-Jitsu, and it's a little bit of a different mindset as well. Like we recruit a lot of wrestlers, we recruit a lot of fighters, and I think that it's and we're all no-gi, right? And so if I'm not even putting a gi on, which didn't even come from Brazil, again, that comes from Japan, like I'm not going to accept the inception levels of deception. It's jiu-jitsu is a Japanese word. It's not a Brazilian word. This is American jiu-jitsu. The Americans are on top, and we're coming for the rest of the fucking world.
Hey, and obviously, don't get me wrong, because a fellow Marine here, but also as a fellow Marine, one of the best things about us is our propaganda.
Yeah,
we do a pretty good job of marketing ourselves. And,
dude, the dragon in the dress blues, that commercial got so many fucking high school kids. This is American Jiu-Jitsu. This is my dragon.
I got it. Tuffelhunden, Devil Dog wasn't actually a thing. We made that up, essentially, from what I hear from the history.
Yeah, Tuffelhunden wasn't actually a radio transmission.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, hey, game appreciates game. As far as Marines, and you're doing your own twist to it, but still giving a little bit of love to the Brazilians for starting that UFC that started out there in Denver.
100%.
And
100%
bringing jiu-jitsu to the greater light and MMA 100%. and to the United States, because without them we would not have American jiu-jitsu.
No doubt.
I wouldn't have jiu-jitsu, and I get it. So it's funny because I'm at a 10th Planet gym here in Oceanside, and it's all no-gi, and definitely prefer that. But when I was under a Pedro Sauer gym in Charlottesville, we had the masters, we had the bowing, we had the ranks, the lineup, all that stuff. Which hey. I respect people's cultures and their customs. It wasn't as important to me as the culture, just the people there, which I think is the feeling that you really care about too. And you're just getting rid of a lot of the extraneous stuff and just getting to the heart of it,
and I started in karate, right? I got my black belt. My first black belt was in karate, and it was Sensei Tanaka was from Japan. and he was still the college. He's still the captain of his college karate team. So very, very traditional. And I learned so much from Sensei Tanaka in that karate sense, right? And I actually did learn my my striking style is still harkens back to that. He taught me so much, and the discipline and the self respect that you get from those traditional classes is super, super important, especially for the younger kids. What we're doing is not that, right? And what we are a more of an adult competition slash fight or grappling competition slash fight team, and that is almost entirely incompatible with those old school values. Those traditional gym values absolutely have a place. And in most gym settings, especially for younger students, like actual kids, I think those are very, very important places for you to start your kids if they're struggling in school and stuff like that. But in terms of setting the tone for, hey, we're going to go actually fight some dudes, there's almost no place for a lot of uh, those traditional things that you do in class. It's more of a distraction than it is a
Yeah.
net benefit, and that's really what we're coming across. It's kind of like when you're in boot camp, right? You're in Paris Island. Your day to day is going to look totally different than when you're actually deployed, right? And so if you don't graduate from those different settings, then you're not really going to be able to progress to that next level. And then, like my first deployment is attached to Joint Special Ops. That's another level of disconnect from boot camp. And if you want to get really good at being the drill heavy Marine, then you stay on Paris Island and you do those traditional things, right? But if you want to go kick down doors and you want to go actually do operator shit, then you got to act like an operator. And so to us, it feels like that's just where the separation is. So there's obviously great jujitsu schools that are still pretty traditional, but if you look at their competitors, they're not necessarily doing all that every day.
I love it when I talk when we do drilling in class, and for people that are just listening to this, a traditional class, a lot of times you'll get a warm up, maybe do some line drills, do some shrimping, do some rolls, etc. Then coach will bring you around and teach you a technique or two, and then have you drill it, come around, watch it with your partner, as you're drilling it, and kind of give you some corrections, and maybe do another technique or so. And at some point, you might actually get some live rolls. Or sometimes you might actually get some situational sparring, which I always really appreciate. I think that helps a lot more. And you just get right to the point, like, hey, I'm going to show you this thing, and then you're going to start working it, and you're going to figure it out as you do it. And that's why I think, a lot of people call it no, pardon me, shoot, what's the damn
Well,
word for
there's
it now?
the overall kind of idea that like the framing that gets taught in the jiu-jitsu led approach. That's the
Yeah,
terminology that you would hear, and that was
yeah,
popularized by Greg Souders.
sure. I mean, it just seems to me like it feels like it just took a lot of the situational sparring and just made that like more emphasized than anything else, which again I love. And before we get too much in this, I feel we've kept our shades wearing crazy man over here a little bit in the sidelines.
I've been
So
enjoying it,
Anakin,
man. Hey, man, Jimmy deserves the shine, dude. I've been enjoying it.
I got you. I got you. Let him preach. Let him preach. But like we still got to get some Anakin love in here. So
Okay, okay.
you're a very old 26 or so, and you've been grappling for 20 years. All right, what's the story in that?
Yeah, I started as judo as a kid, at 4 years old. So, I guess I mean technically I've been grappling now for 22 years. Um, I don't seem to ever be able to get away from it. Uh, it's definitely been probably the only single constant in my life has been grappling of some sort, and either if that's judo, jujitsu, or wrestling. It just has always been there for me. Um,
So as a transition, did you go from like judo and then, got
I
into
yeah,
youth grappling and then got in trouble for going to your back and
no, no. I did judo first, and then there were a couple of things that led me to jujitsu, but one of the biggest ones were just being in eighth grade and hearing Rogan and Eddie Bravo talk about jujitsu, and I was doing judo, and I remember they'd even have discussions, like not talking shit about judo, but they're like, man, if someone's got a coat on, you're gonna slam the shit out of them. But if you don't have a coat on, now you got to start doing jujitsu and stuff like that. So it definitely put me down that path for sure, to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do jujitsu. So I ended up doing jujitsu for a couple years, and then high school came around, and then I wrestled through high school, and I hated it, but I'm thankful that I did it. And then I ended up back into jujitsu, and that's kind of led to where I am now. I'd say like 18 to 21, it was very unserious jujitsu, like big fish, small pond, just like beating up everybody. And then 21 was really when I was like started to meet the team and everything, and I was like, this is what I want. I want to be a real grappler. I want to be that grappler that I think I could be. So and the team really helped me become where I want to be at. The other thing too is the team. We've always made a really big emphasis on cross training and being a part of the jiu-jitsu community in Colorado. So from the get-go, I was able to go over and train at Hama with guys like Avery and Caleb, or being able to go to Logos or whatever gym that we wanted to. Back in the day, it used to be like Satori was the gym that we went to. So that was a big thing for me. Like this team is so connected to the community that joining the team was truly like joining the greater jiu-jitsu community in Colorado.
Oh, I definitely love that. I appreciate, Jimmy, that you guys supported the cross training. I'd heard that some of the teams this year had forbade their athletes from cross training at other gyms, and that just like that baffled me. I'm like, wait a second, I'm asking guys to come out to Las Vegas, for 5-6 weeks, and I'm not going to let them get more experience from different gyms, different looks. I mean, what am I doing here? This is a thing that, hey, yeah, we're taking care of people. We got an Airbnb for everyone for the first time this season. Every team did, and doing some subsistence, like some basics for a little bit of chow. And if you get a match, you get a little bit of money. But like, come on, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of guys are really doing this for the experience, and it just blows my mind. So again, yeah, why you have to cross train. And again, that's like you said, I think that's the beautiful one of the beautiful things about Colorado is that, like, it seems like, almost everyone's like just really cool and wants to learn from each other.
I think as a community, we realize that we can be like a top level state. Um, and so we've all just kind of realized that in order to be that, we need to be training together. Like, because Colorado does have good guys, we're just all separated. Guys like Avery, guys like Liera, guys like Parrish, those are three great athletes that are at three different gyms. So if you want to get good, then you got to start traveling, and you got to be able to go and train with those good guys.
And so then, Jimmy, you're starting this new enterprise, this new gym. I mean, you've been in your garage, you've been at Genesis, you've been at Cubicles, and you're just opening up a new gym. And here comes the Wolverines, saying we're the professional Colorado Jiu-Jitsu team. And by the way, I was waiting for that. Sometimes it'll happen. It's almost like Pee Wee's Playhouse, but I also realized that both of you too damn young for that show. Okay, so anyway, should you say the name of our team, that soundbite will happen. But anyway, so you're starting this new business, new venture, and here we come, and we immediately steal, or almost immediately steal, two of your guys. Donald to be our main man for getting all of our sponsorships. We lost him here, but I'm sure we'll hop back on in a second. But then, well, I'll ask him that question in a second. But Anakin, so we talked to you, Vegas. Okay. I'm sure he's gonna hit that button.
He'll come back. It's all good. I will say I'm so grateful that to have somebody like Jimmy, to have the stability of Jimmy, to be able to say, I'm going to go to Vegas and I'm going to train with these guys. I'm going to get better. I'm going to bring it back, and to be able to leave and know everything's going to be all right was awesome.
Yeah, so Jim, as I was saying, like the thing is, obviously, you guys have meant so much to us because Donald, Rose now, I mean, he's our main community sponsor engagement guy. Got us all the sponsorships that made this team possible to fund. And we, obviously, CJ, I met Anakin beforehand for season 5, but then CJ and I met him at the Las Vegas qualifier, and then of course again, and knew that if we got injured, we needed to bring him out there to be part of the community. And then even though, well, anyway, so folks, I'll just give you the background real quick because he's
Go
in the
ahead.
car. So we knew Anakin had to come back if we had injuries, and lo and behold, we had 2 starters get seriously injured our first week. And Anakin's like, I was waiting for this call. He's like, all right, I got my classes covered. Well, I'll fly out in like a day and let's go.
Yep.
So, and then your teammates are like, I hope he understands he's sleeping on the couch. I'm like, you MFers, we have multiple beds in different bedrooms. Like, no, I get my own room. So Anakin was a good sport, and they moved one of the mattresses out to the loft, which
It
is a
was
fun loft.
awesome.
It's a
It was
nice loft.
awesome.
That's where I
Yeah.
slept this first week. So what
You know,
was that
I
experience like?
I loved it, man. I loved it. I had no idea what I was walking into. I knew Jonathan and Caleb was there, so I was like, well, as long as they're there, I know everything will be all right. Um, and I loved when Peter later came into the house too. He said the same thing about me. He said, "Well, I knew you were here, Anakin, so I knew it was going to be all right." So I'm happy that we all have that kind of friendship together, that we can be like that. But man, it was awesome. I got there the first night. I walked in the door, and Kenny came in, gave me some Kenny advice. He's like, let me tell you, playa, there's some extra mattresses upstairs. Go grab one, drag it out into that little loft. You got your own room. And sure enough, that's what I did. And I grew up in a big family. So to be honest, it almost just kind of felt like childhood, just having, there's always shit going on in the house. I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna be like just chilling in my room all day if there's a bunch of guys, and so we all just hung out the whole time. So I couldn't be more thankful for that whole entire experience. I leveled up so much during that time. Um, Made some memories and friends that will last forever. So it was really cool.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the other thing that I really loved is just the fact that and we'll fast forward perhaps. It was just like 2 weekends ago, obviously. When the whole team was still together at West Coast Trials.
It was
I mean,
awesome, man.
I'm sorry, Brett. Not we were missing you, but
Yes.
but obviously, about everyone else was there,
Yeah.
which was just sick.
It's amazing, man.
So, sorry, I was trying to pull up the dang. Um, damn brand of the fire pit that we had. So we were gifted a fire pit, which was pretty phenomenal.
Bali
Yeah,
Outdoors.
Bali.us outdoors. There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I
I
mean, you
got
spent more
you.
time around than I did.
Oh man,
Um,
that fire pit got a lot of loving from that team.
I'm telling you, folks, I have a firewood guy in Vegas. I never thought I'd have a firewood guy in Vegas, but I got one, and I can hook you up if you need it. So these crazy guys would I'd get like 4 wheelbarrows delivered full of wood, and it'd be gone in less than 10 days. So I have to call the guy back again. I guess it's Matthias and Crump. If you can't see a fire from space, is it really a fire? Did it happen?
M- My job was to start the fire. Once the fire was started, if those two were around, they were making it into a bonfire. As soon as that sun went down, we were done training. We'd come home, we'd eat food. That fire was started every night as soon as the sun was down. So yeah, man, that was really some of the most fun parts of the whole entire trip was just hanging out by the fire every night, talking about jiu-jitsu matchups, whatever's going on. Um, yeah, to the point now, like I definitely miss that being home. Miss having like a fire and a bunch of great athletes sitting around it to just talk about. I can't tell you how much we talked about jiu-jitsu, man. It was nonstop. So I just yeah, that fire pit was almost like that was almost the glue that kept this team together. We'd go out there, shoot. We were cooking on it every day.
Well, I mean, I think
Me and Jonathan would be cooking on it in the cast iron. Mateus would just say, "Screw that." He'd throw it on the side of it. He'd have his meat sitting on the outside ring. He's just saying, "Oh, I just need to get a good crust on it really quick." Yeah. What
yeah,
a trip.
no, yeah, 100%. Obviously, I'm an older man now, so I get the kids and all and the wife and all that stuff. But I definitely miss the pack animal times of just being around a bunch of guys and just hanging out and cooking and having those fires and stuff like that. And it was truly a treat. I really wish I would have been able to spend more time out there training with you guys and be around those fires. But it was a cherished memory of mine. Every damn time. So, anyways, that's a little bit about the Wolverines. I mean, obviously, people can go watch the PGF. This podcast is not about our time, 100% in Las Vegas, because people can go watch the behind the scenes at PGF World, YouTube, and see a little bit about us. I guess maybe I should ask. Well, maybe I'll ask both of you, because I'm sure you both have talked after the season. So, having lived through the season, Anakin, and then having talked to Anakin after the season, Jimmy, um, what changes would you make to the training and the preparation to the Wolverines, for this next season coming up? If you
Let,
have
An-
talked about it.
let Anakin take that one first
Oh
because he
well,
was there.
yeah. The main thing, and you're talking about preparation before we're even in Vegas, correct?
No,
Or the
I'm talking about, like, hey, say you're thinking about being a coach for the Wolverines. What would you do to prep, both before the season and during for the weeks?
well, a lot of it is obviously I remember talking to Brandon one time, and he's like, the PGF isn't exactly about like finding out who's the best person at jiu-jitsu. It's about making exciting jiu-jitsu. So understanding like what the PGF is by nature is it's a scrap. Um, so really understanding that everybody in that first minute is going to be going crazy to try to get that elbow genie point. So you really have to take that into account in your training. Like, I think if you're training for PGF or during PGF, your first minute of every round should be a scrap, and then you need to get good at catching your breath from there, and then continuing on in the match. Because you watch it, like I said, almost every PGF match, it's the first minute is chaos, and then it starts to calm down a little bit. So obviously, you're being able to sprint is one of the biggest parts in PGF. And then another thing that we've talked about is having those killing strokes and being able to get the subs and get the points on the board. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters in PGF is if you can get points on the board.
Yeah, if you get to a position, you have to be able to finish. And Jimmy, talking about that first minute scrap, that kind of like reminds me a little bit about kind of like your amateur or maybe even lower level MMA, where that first bull rush just happens all the time. Is that something you
Yep.
think you can recreate for jiu-jitsu?
Oh, 100%. That especially at the amateur level, your first, if you're going up against a guy making his debut, just understand that he's going to fly straight at you, right? And so having strategies in place for that, I think, is super important. And the overall strategy side of jujitsu, I think, is what the PGF is going to allow to mature in the sport. Because right now, unless you're at the highest level and you don't really care about any of the guys that you're competing against because you're just going to go out there and play your game. Very few guys are really watching tape on their opponents and strategizing where they actually want the match to go or what's going to happen when they get to these different places with these specific competitors, right? Um, and so I think, I come from a football world and I come from the Marines where we're doing a lot of study before our engagements. And so we're not supposed to be surprised when something happens. If we're surprised by what's going on, we didn't do our job on the front end. And I think that's where the format of PGF is, for me, it's so exciting is the fact that you can strategize so much more and there's so many more little games that you can be playing on a team level and on an individual basis. And I think that the film study part is going to become a bigger part of the entire team dynamic with guys like Jonathan are going to be able to do a lot more of that. And I think he also understands what I'm talking about. For like even my amateur MMA fighters, we are film studying everything that we can on these guys. And we're not breaking down every single thing, but you need to understand at least a couple of tendencies
Yep.
and have some secondary and tertiary plans together. And since I wasn't there and I didn't actually see the training side of it, that to me just seems like a really good future endeavor for the coaches and the athletes to start doing is if once you figure out who is on that other team, how would you game plan for each one of those guys with everybody on your roster and at what point in the season, right? Because things change throughout the season. Everybody gets tired. Some guys get better. Some guys get worse. And now there's enough film on pretty much everybody who would be in PGF that I think that would be that's just what comes to my mind when I'm looking at the format. I'm like, that is such a cool aspect that you can implement that you can't do in, say, like your local tournaments as much.
And if there's not enough film on them going into the PGF after that first week, you got plenty. You got great film because the PGF does great film for people, and I love that because I mean, obviously come from a football background as well. So you have your 2-a-days, and then you have your 1-a-days plus your film study. Yep. Sometimes the 2-a-days have the film study in there too.
Yep.
And from the core, hey man, rehearsals make you money.
Yep.
You got to plan how it's going to be. You got to have that, that intel, picture out there, what they're going to do. And I love that you said tendencies because people have tendencies, not everything, but they have their go-tos. I mean, when they're talking about like movie books like Blink and Thinking Slow and Fast, they talk about the chunking idea that you see the different like, kind of groupings of movements together. And that's huge. And I love that. I think you're very much right. I think that's where we need to be next. I'll tell you, both of you, I mean, I'm not going to name names, but there's been many an athlete in the PGF in the past that I've talked to that says, oh man, I don't even watch jiu-jitsu.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
I mean, I know that some people will say like, hey, I let my coaches do the analyzing and then tell me what I need to do. Okay. But like, as we become professional, right?
Well, again, that kind of goes back to our beginnings as a team is we were just like, we're trying to get better. I can't rely on this guy. He's got 20 people that he's teaching a class to. Half of them are 50 years old. Like they're not trying to do what we're trying to do. I got to take this over for myself. And so our team was really built on that self-responsibility. And, Anakin became one of our leg locking machines. We had some guys get really good at the back. We had some guys who came from a college wrestling background. So like they were running those classes, and we have so much knowledge in the room. It doesn't all have to be in a head coach. Everybody is a coach and a student at different times of the day. And I think that with the talent that you have in the rooms with each of those PGF teams, if you could facilitate the learning to be happening and the development to be happening from each of those athletes at least some of the time. They should obviously they need to be getting better their themselves, but
Mm,
they're helping themselves and the team if they can create some of these scenarios that they're really good at. So as the coach, I think that making sure that you're using all the talent that you have in the room in all those aspects, because guys like Tom Brady and Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, if you watch the way that they're approaching their practices, they are dictating a lot of the practices themselves. And
yeah.
so I think that that's part of the step away from the more traditional training modalities is accepting that a big part of your knowledge base, the majority of your knowledge is actually in the room, is actually disseminated throughout your students. So figuring out how to get them to pass that on to everybody else and hone their skills in those areas, but also helping the rest of the room uh, in those specific areas, I think is super important. So that's kind of how I view all of that.
No, 100% love it. It's like everyone, comes in with skills, and they all pour their water into the same well that everyone can take from.
Yeah.
And your kind of job is to get that water from them and to spread it around so that everyone can learn. That's great. So I'm going to turn to another topic, but I'm going to give you a bit of quick news if you haven't heard already. This season will have the next season that's going to be starting about the same time next year. I'm not sure if I can say that yet. I don't think that
Yeah.
I did not 100% get that approved, but it's about the same time next year.
Yeah.
So we get some downtime. This is good. There's going to be 8 teams minimum. We could get to 12, but if there's 8, here's how it's going to work. We are going to have 2 nights a week, PGF, and we're going to have 2 blocks per night. So every team's going to go, have everybody on each team's going to have 2 matches per night, and they're only going to go once a week. So everyone, instead of doing 15 matches, a season is going to do 10. But another crazy thing is that there's also going to be 5 different weight classes.
Yep.
So we're going to have 145, 155, 170, 185, and 205.
5.
So there's going to be a lot of different, representation. So the little guys aren't left out. The big hulks aren't left out. Well, I mean, sorry, if you can't hit 205, you're out. But I mean, you hit it once and you can go up to 225, the rest of the season. So, you can be pretty big still. This would be pretty amazing. But so there's a little bit of PGF news. I'll give it to you. But that leads us into what happens until then. And so now, I guess we can talk about, I know you have, who's teaching class in like 2 minutes?
No, we're all good. It's Friday. We got just open mat tonight. We're all good.
Oh, that's why we went early, because I thought you guys were
Yeah.
all stressed for time. Okay.
It's all right. We're still trying to get the ball moving, but yeah.
I've got somebody else is running the wrestling class right now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry. I was trying to get this done quicker. Okay. So, well, now I don't have to rush quite so much. Pretty cool. I mean, 8 teams. I don't know. What do you think about that, guys?
It's awesome. It's cool to see that we keep picking up new teams and the format changing. I like this new format. I think it definitely feels even more professional than it did before. I think it's cool that it's like wrestling, when you have a team duel, you have guys at every weight class and they get to go against each other. And I love that vibe. I loved going to team duels in wrestling and hearing that you were like the first weight class to go. So you're like the first to go for your team and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's nothing but positives. Obviously, if we're picking up more teams, the PGF is still, still building more steam and building. So it's nothing but positive.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I love the format. Again, I'm all about the teams, and the more
Teams,
of a
man.
team, the more of a team aspect that you can bring to it. I feel like there's just so much more hype that can get around it.
100%.
No, I love it. I mean, yeah, it's so many people say like wrestling, it's you alone on the mat. Yeah, like for those handful of minutes. But
Yeah.
realistically, before then, after then, people on the sideline yelling for you because the PGF, they want you to help win the team block point for everyone. You're all going for common goals of winning it all. And people just give a shit. I mean, because like I said, I mean, you saw us at all the West Coast trials, supporting each other, and it was just I would play it here, but I'm sure Flo would get mad at us. So I mean, but when Anakin had a chance to shout out the SubHounds and the Wolverines, I mean, that was just like baller and amazing. And I bought the photo of us all with you afterwards, from Dave, because that means so much to me. I need to put that on the
Uh,
Instagram.
all, all season, man. That's all I wanted to do is to get a sub at the PGF and shout out the Wolverines. It's all I wanted to do all season, man. I thought about that, and I thought about that too at trials. I saw I saw my first match and my second match line up, and I go, all right, well, I better get a win in this first match, and I better shout out my people.
Yeah, facing number one, Jet Thompson, your second match, not the best idea.
No, but
But
you better make damn sure that first match is going to be good. Then
yeah.
better make sure you get your highlight in.
Yeah, don't worry. We got plans. We got
Okay, good.
20-pound, 30-pound, like jujitsu brains out there smarter than me. We're going to crack that Jet Thompson code. We'll figure it out for next season. So that kind of takes us to the idea that, all right, we have some time, but that's amazing because like we put this team together within 90 days for the season. Kind of wild, whirlwind for sure. But now we can actually start, being strategic, and part of that is our tournaments. So I know Anakin knows about this. I bet Jimmy knows about this. We're kind of like targeting late July for our first tournament. Our goal is essentially to have 3 tournaments, for all the weight classes and kids too, because we also have, and we'll talk about this in a second. Obviously, the princess of the PGF, Miss Violet Goodnight, Violent Violet. Is a Wolverine representative as well. So I think those first 3 tournaments will be kind of like seedings for the qualifier. So however you finish, in your expert division of adults for guys in those weight classes, that'll be like your, however many points you accumulate will set your seed for the qualifier. I don't know. We haven't set the exact timeline yet. I mean, I feel like I can probably say that qualifiers can only start in October.
Yeah.
And there's going to be like the baseline plan is that there's going to be 2 qualifiers for the PGF per month for 4 months because there's 8 teams and we all get one.
Yeah.
But that's not 100%. So I didn't say that if Brandon wants to put me on probation. So when people keep asking me what's going to be, no earlier than October for the actual qualifier itself. But we're going to be scouting people starting in July and helping, like you guys have said, like trying to have, pardon me, trying to have, the Wolverines be an even more unifying factor for jiu-jitsu in Colorado. We want to make, a chance for everyone to highlight themselves professionally, if possible. So I guess, I don't know.
There's some things I want to say about the tournament, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think us. So, like we're saying, there's a distinction between the Wolverines tournament coming up and down the line a Wolverines qualifier. The tournament is a really good place for you to come and showcase that you want to be a part of the Wolverines, that you want to be a part of the PGF, and be able to put yourself out there. I know in the previous seasons in the previous season they talked that you needed to do a qualifier to be able to get drafted as an alternate or anything like that. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but coming out and doing the tournament just shows, not only that you support the Wolverines, but that's something you want to be a part of. So I think, we have all these great guys in Colorado. I think we should go out there and just have a great tournament, raise some money and show people like what Colorado is really made out of.
100%. Thank you, Anakin. Love it. Yeah, and I am but a fellow lowly Marine. We need to raise money to have this professional jiu-jitsu team. It's I'll give you other secrets in later podcasts, but it's going to be more expensive this season. And we're also just at the same time trying to make it more beneficial for everyone. So we're never going to have people have to figure out their own housing again. That's just not going to be a thing. We're going to try to do as much as we can to cover as much food as we can. We're going to maybe sponsors for meal prep, um, or other ways to put that in the budget. But
Yeah.
to make that budget and to increase that budget for the players we sign before we get to the draft, and to have maybe a better budget for the draft, that means we got to raise some money. And hey, at the same time, these tournaments and some of our guiding principles for that is that we want them to be outstanding. We want people to have an amazing time and to really fall in love with jiu-jitsu if they haven't yet, and fall in love with it again if they have before. We want it to stand out to everyone as just the most fun and the most amazing environment possible. So there'll be some cool things. We've been playing with some ideas with, obviously the top player, the top scoring player a week got a laser engraved K bar with our logo and some stuff about it. So I'm pretty sure that might be an
I want a
award that
K bar. Actually, I want the Sands of Iwo very bad. That was
Iwo
another
Jima.
big reason I wanted to sub.
Okay,
So
well, we'll figure that out.
I think we need to have one. I think we need to have a couple vials of that sand laying around. I think that really gets the people going.
I have one crazy. I brought things. I brought of the three things I first tried to motivate you guys with, two of which I can't get back. I can't get back the switchblade I got from my first deployment. That belongs to Squires now. And if I give away this sand, I will need to actually go to Iwo Jima to
And
get sand,
recollect
because
more sand.
that was a gift. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I guess so since you guys have been around the competing scene, and some of the talent, once we start these tournaments going, I mean, who do you think are the top guys that might be players for making those weight classes for this season
Uh,
for the Wolverines?
so there's definitely a handful of names I have. Um, Obviously, we could come up and make some crazy dream team, but I think this is a pretty a pretty good idea of a team that we could have that's filled with some Colorado guys and some previous Wolverine athletes. But I'm going to name off some names here. So at 145, Rafael Gomez used to train at Wilson Bros. Raf, he's the guy that's always, doing backflips and landing in pistol squats. He just had an amazing run at trials. So that's definitely somebody to look at 145. Riley Golden, he just won the Double Gold Invitational, I believe what it was called. Riley Golden, if you don't know, man, he's one of Colorado's best, so you can't exclude him from that conversation.
What gym's he out of?
Riley's out of Hama now, high altitude
Okay.
martial arts.
Yeah, got it.
Another 145er, Juan Martinez, previous PGF athlete. Can't leave him out of the conversation. And then two other picks that, I can't help but bring up. Benny Rotan. Benny, he's out of Logos, man. He's a killer. He'd be someone that'd be awesome to get on. And another 145er would be Wilson Soho out of Logos. Two of those guys, Wilson Soho and Benny, are both out of Logos. Both killers, both guys that I could see coming out and killing a qualifier. So that whole
That's
list.
like 8 for 1. It's like at least 8 for 145 itself. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of 145ers around that I could see making it through that qualifier. Continuing on, 155, I have just now Matias Jimenez, man. Matias, I feel like that's got to be our 55er. I've been loving telling this story, but watching him go against Kevin Beering, the guy that ended up winning the PGF, was like an emotional roller coaster. We got to hang out with Mateus all month, and all he talked about was how bad he wanted to compete. And then, sure enough, it came, and he had to compete against the guy that ended up winning the whole thing, and ended up bringing it to a draw, and it was an amazing match. His mom and sister was sitting on the couch with us. It was very emotional. So, I want nothing more than to see Mateus make it for 155 for us. I think that'd be an amazing pickup.
just a great kid. I mean,
He's a great kid, man.
I mean,
I
the
know
positional
everyone's gonna want to
dominance.
pick him up this upcoming season. Um, but yeah, man, there's nothing more than I'd love to see him be like a starting player for the Wolverines. So that's at the moment. That's my pick for 155. I don't even have any other ones. At 170, Michael Liera Jr. He just took third at trials. He's a killer. He did trials, man, and you'd see him arguing with refs because he didn't know some of the points or how some of the points worked. So you could just see him getting pissed off, and he just started subbing people. And that's all that we want at PGF is to see somebody that has those killing strokes. So my pick for a Colorado guy at 170, Liera. There's no way to not have Liera in that conversation.
Remember the head coach or owner of Logos,
The
James.
head coach and owner of Logos. If you didn't know, you should know by now. Liera is a killer.
Yeah, I would say overall, Liera is probably the best jiu-jitsu competitor in the state. If you're looking at
100%.
like what he's won, what he can do, um, and the leadership that he can bring to a team. I mean, he runs one of the top, probably one or two jiu-jitsu gyms in the state. There's it's hard to beat getting Liera on a team if you can get him away from his gym for that long.
That's always, I think, going to be the hardest thing with the PGF is getting people that can commit to something like that.
Yeah, 100%. But after you introduced me to him, that end of that first day of West Coast trials, I made sure to watch all his matches and just, I mean, wow,
Dude, it's
just
a treat to watch, man. As a jiu-jitsu fan, as a jiu-jitsu athlete, man, like watching Liera's run, man, was something else.
all
You
right.
know,
So then, okay.
that closes at 170. 185. There's no way that we don't bring up Jaden Groner, man. We got to have Jane at 185, man.
The MVP, come on.
That's our kid, the MVP of the PGF, man. Yeah, Jaden Groner at 185. I have a second person for 185 that could make it, and that'd be Avery Brooks. Um, Avery Brooks, one of the head coaches at High Altitude Martial Arts. He spends a good amount of his time training at Kingsway, out in Austin, Texas. Avery Brooks is a killer, and he's got the potential to be one of the best guys out here.
He can make 185. That guy's huge.
I have him at 185 and 205.
Okay,
Um,
it's like he's as
he
the
can
kids used
make
to say,
he
swole.
can make 185, but I have him as my second pick for a 185er right now out of Colorado.
Okay.
So for 85, we have Jaden and Avery. Now 205 is a bit interesting. Okay, I'm gonna start it off with bulletproof Brett Moyer. I think he'd be a fun guy at 205 and a previous Wolverine athlete. Um, yeah, what is there not to love about Brett, man? um,
Well, I mean,
uh,
if he wears the flak jacket again, I'm gonna have to give him some actual plates for it. I gave him crap for that. I asked him what rating they were. He's like, what?
Dude, but Brett might be one of the funniest human beings I've been around. Every now and again, I'll catch him commenting on jiu-jitsu posts. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? So, first pick for 205, Brett Moyer. Um, we have another guy named Guillermo. He owns Bomb Jitsu out of Colorado. He's a great black belt. A little unknown, I think, on the broader scene, but in Colorado, I could see him coming out making 205 and having a crazy run. So I definitely don't want to exclude him from the conversation. Continuing on, Matt Paul at a 10th Planet Littleton. I could see him coming out, and if he can make that 205 weight, man, I could see him really showing out at the Wolverine tournament. I also have, once again, Avery Brooks at 205.
When you say it, it happens.
I have Avery Brooks at 205. I also have our very own Levi Miller at 205. This kid's a sleeper, man. Levi, I could see Levi beating just about anyone.
From the
Uh,
SubHounds.
yep, he's out of SubHounds. He just recently submitted one of Logos' better black belts. Man, he's a killer. He's a killer. So I would personally love to see Levi come out here and kill everyone at the qualifier, man. So, um, and Here's kind of a fun pick, man. At 205, if we've got Matthias, we might as well ask if Roberto wants to do it. So I know Brandon loves some storylines, and having the Jimenez brothers on the team would be a pretty cool storyline. So yeah, I'd love to see that as another possibility for 205. I know he likes going against bigger guys. I've talked to his brother a good bit, so yeah, I'm just gonna throw that out there for fun. I think at 205, Roberto would be a great pick. I'd love to see the brother dynamic. I'd love to be involved in that and just around that. I think that'd be really special, especially with the PGF being in Vegas and everything. And you know how cool it was to have Mateus's family there and his
Oh
and
yeah,
his mom and everything. I just think that make that dynamic even cooler.
and she's such a great corner.
She is, man. I loved hearing Mateus tell me that he's like, yeah, man. I hate to say it, but my mom's a great quarter. That cracks me up, man. That definitely stuck in my head a bit.
Hey, real quick,
Um,
guys, you continue this conversation. I'm running into a snowstorm. I'm going out turkey hunting, and I'm getting ready to. I'm literally driving into the storm right now, so I'm gonna have to sign off because
yeah,
it's getting a little wild.
yeah, yes, sir.
All right,
You,
Jimmy.
you,
Hey,
you
thank you
have a
so much
good
for
But
hunt, Jimbo.
coming out here, man.
hey,
And
thanks for having me
Oh, that
on. And
snowstorm's getting them right now.
yeah,
yeah,
hey,
dude.
I'll see you as soon as I get back to
All right, guys.
Colorado,
I'll
man.
see you later.
All right.
But,
All right. Later,
All
Jimbo.
right, see you guys.
all right, so yeah, I mean, 100%. Love the storyline. I mean, Roberto is just, I mean, just one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. So I mean, that'd be horrible to have him on the team.
Yeah,
Um,
I've
you
been
know,
revisiting his match too with Aiken. I don't know. I don't know when's the last time you watched his match with Ryan Aiken, man. But that it was very masterful jiu-jitsu.
I mean, jiu-jitsu is their family's thing.
I know, man. But
So it's just
that
like,
that match, we all have so much respect for Ryan Aiken in the PGF, and
yeah,
to watch Roberto go out there and put on a masterclass like that, it was pretty cool. It's
yeah.
definitely a match that I keep finding myself revisiting over and over again.
I will definitely check that out again. I would say that the important thing for everyone that's looking at coming at our tournaments is just what Anakin said beforehand, is that you're showing you care about jiu-jitsu in Colorado. You're showing you care about, wanting to be possibly a part of the team. And if you win a qualifier 100%, regardless of who we might want to maybe come back, from prior seasons, you're on the PGF. If you win a
Yes.
qualifier at the PGF, you're going to go to the draft. That
Yep.
is 100% guaranteed.
Yep.
And the more time you have at these tournaments, the better seeding you get, and also the more film that both we can see on you. Also, because I'm going to be there live for all those ones, because the first one's going to happen after I get out there. But also, we're working so that we get them on our YouTube. I'm talking to some of the guys that do the production for the PGF, so we can try to get that same type of quality.
Yep.
Me out of like all the qualifiers, so that all of the owners can see you.
Yep.
And then that inures to your benefit, because all of a sudden, if I don't sign you before we get to the season, you go up on the draft block, and now I'm fighting for you, and
Yep.
that just makes you get paid more.
100%.
So, it's about exposure. And Anakin, obviously, one of the things I was so appreciative of was you kept such a great spirit, but you also were so about the team and making sure that people that had been there before had their chance to get in to the matches beforehand. It's tough being on the bench, because you don't want no one wants their teammates to get hurt, but in the prior season, you had to have them get hurt for you to get in the matches. I have not been approved of saying this. It was not mentioned. So in a
Yep.
hypothetical world,
Yep.
if you will,
Yep.
where we saw that was a problem, where you might want to change your roster for one reason or another, there could be a system where teams could have wrestle-offs.
Yep.
And we could just set a roster weekly,
Yep.
hypothetically.
Yep.
In a world.
In a world.
Um, so that's I mean, because that's what that's what regular teams do. You adjust based upon what people are doing, whether they're injured or whether they're just like slowed down or whether somebody's like hot. You can do those things, and if we were to be a professional grappling federation, we should be professional and maybe look at doing that, and maybe we will this season. Um, so I guess I would say that as long as I'm a part of the PGF, and well, as long as I have a say, and I have at least 1/8 of a say right now, um, we're going to have qualifiers because I want the democratization of the PGF to be a thing. Because if you try to go to another promotion and get on their card, you pretty much need to know somebody.
One hundred percent.
But here, you win a qualifier, you're in the draft.
It's the beautiful thing about the PGF, man. The qualifiers, I've always been a big fan of. Anybody can show up and win a qualifier. Anybody can get themselves into the PGF. You show up and you win a qualifier, and even in previous seasons, even if you didn't win, but you had a good showing, good chance you're going to end up somewhere on that roster.
100%. I mean, and that's another thing. Like, I want you to do our qualifier, please.
Yep.
And especially all the Coloradans. But I told Anakin and other friends, obviously we didn't have a Colorado qualifier because we weren't even a team when the qualifiers were still available last season. But we told them, like, hey man, get your keister out to these qualifiers, multiple if possible, so we can get you on the team. Yeah, and I guarantee. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I will say this, that all the owners liked the change where we had like a set group of people. So we had the people we drafted, or we had like free agents we brought in. Then we had the group of people we drafted, and then if we needed more because there were injuries, and please, if you're on the team, just tap. If they get you, just. I told them all. I swear to God, I did. Just tap. But if you don't, because you're a crazy jiu-jitsu guy, and we need to get another person, we're going to have to call up somebody that's done a qualifier. And that will as far as I'm concerned, that should always be a part of it, because if, that shows you care about the PGF, that you actually did a qualifier.
Yep, 100%. And that's the kind of the point I'm trying to get across. Not doing the qualifiers show that you care about the PGF and that you want to be a part of this. Doing the Wolverines tournament shows that you care about being a PGF athlete, that you care about oh damn it, CJ, now I lost my train of thought.
About Colorado Jiu-Jitsu and
you
about
do,
like
man.
wanting
You care about Colorado Jiu-Jitsu, and you want to support, because it's nothing but good things that we have a professional team for Colorado. Like, it's such a huge opportunity. The PGF has done nothing but grow season after season, and here's an opportunity to not only support it, be a part of it. It's awesome, man. I was beyond grateful the day that I saw on Instagram, and it was like, oh, a new account, the Colorado Wolverines. I click on it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I see that it's being ran by Egghead. I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? And from that moment on, man, I've just been super excited to see it keep growing. And I don't know if people know exactly that, the PGF was going to end up kind of having to throw together a ragtag fourth team, like they did in previous seasons. And you ended up buying a team, man. And I think that was not only really big for PGF that you did that, but it was really big for our community. And I will say it has brought our community together a good bit too. Just all of us wanting to be a part of the team. I go to Logos, I go to Hama. Everyone's talking about the Wolverines. Everyone's talking about wanting to be a part of it. I just think that's something that I've always wanted. Like when I did season 5, it felt like not many people in our community even knew what the PGF was. And to where it's now, where everyone's talking about it, everyone's like, oh, you're wearing a Wolverine shirt. I saw you at the Wolverines. It's such a positive thing for the community that I really hope that we can get as many guys out there to support it as possible.
I mean, 100%. I mean, it's tough because like trying to convince people of the idea of something.
Yes.
It's hard when they haven't seen it, especially because we haven't
Yes.
had professional jujitsu before. But now that we do, now people have seen it. They can go look at and see our team competing together. They can go watch us at the trials, like how much we care about each other and we're flying the flag and cheering for each other. They can see the behind the scenes videos about what life was like outside of the actual competition itself. And I think everyone wants to be part of it because it is truly something special. And I'll get more into it later. We tried doing a Ask Me Anything, but Instagram kind of sucks and doesn't want us to do live. So, the PGF is something that I have a passion for, have for years, and the chance to have a team and to bring a team to Colorado meant the world to me, and you guys did. So, we're just gonna keep making it better. I mean, we've had all the ideas. I mean, again, please give us some grace because we did about put this thing together and had this crazy idea of doing it about 90 days before the season started.
Yeah.
And I am actually a sitting military judge in the Marine Corps, so I actually have to do my job administrating courts martial, and so I have to go back and forth and I have to cart kids around, and then our CJ, the XO, he's finished. He's about to graduate college here in 22 days. So it's kind of important that he, still focuses enough to graduate from school. And we have some amazing volunteers like TJ Steinbach and Don Rollins now, and Andrew as well. I mean, just like we're working guys. We're just gonna keep making it better. We're gonna start we're gonna put out our gym affiliation option to try to bring all the gyms into the fold. And trust me, it's not a money grab. That's not the plan at all. We just want to give ways for everyone to be a part of it.
100%.
We're going to get better. We're going to get better on the Patreon. That's 100% my fault because that's more like a Facebook thing. So the Generation Z doesn't get that as much. So I can't ask CJ to do it. I need to do those posts. But I will start doing that better. We're going to do a lot of really cool things. I mean, you're going to start seeing some seminars from the Wolverines. You're going to see a lot of really, really cool things. And just, I would say this. If you get behind us, this is a thing where, I hope you'll feel, and I'm going to work that you will feel that we love you back. Like Anakin was saying, beforehand, season 5, you were competing and people didn't know what the
Yep.
PGF was. I'll tell you, this season, Kyle Chambers from my gym, I'm training at his, Geo's gym that he's a black belt at and was an instructor at 10th Planet Oceanside. And people only, a minority really paid attention. But what even killed me more was season 7 when Kyle Bam and Kyle Chambers were both on the roster. And I was like, did you guys realize this? And so again, this is going to be Colorado's team, and we want everyone on board. And hey, I think we showed that what being a Wolverine is being able to take some lumps and get knocked down and come back and make it everything better and or just keep fighting. And yeah, we're going to keep that ethos and keep working. So I hope you join us. It's we're not the Yankees. We're your team. So, make us a thing.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't say it better myself, man. I just, as a community, man, this is definitely something we should be supporting. If you're a gym owner, man, this is an opportunity to have an outlet or a path to put your athletes into to be able to show how great they could be. I'll be honest, I have younger athletes like Sabian and Levi, and I want nothing more for them to be able to show the world who they are and who they can be. And I just see this as another path I could help get them onto to make them better. So I'm beyond grateful for that. I told Sabian's my 19-year-old paddle one, and I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm doing all this because obviously I want to be involved in PGF, but I'm looking at it as this is a way to get you in it one day. So I think everybody in Colorado should be looking at it like, hey man, you have a real chance of being something, you know?
Yeah, and we're just gonna take care of people more and more as a professional jiu-jitsu organization.
Yep.
Salaries are going to increase. The media exposure is going to increase. I mean, already we've seen people that have like just done amazingly well at the PGF, and all of a sudden they're getting seminars everywhere. You know, they're getting instructionals out there. You know, where beforehand they were an Okie from Muskogee. Love you, Jeff.
Yep.
But
Yep.
this the amount of exposure you can get from this, and high end exposure, and also exposure to other promotions and things like that. I mean, I always laugh at, like, was it? I think it was might have been season 6 or might have been 7, where because Eddie Bravo's there all the time, and then he had his jujitsu overload one, which is I think it was after 7, and I
Yeah, I
could
think
almost
it's
like
7.
see him, and he was like looking at all the guys like a menu, like I'll take you, I'll take you, I'll take
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Yeah. So other
And
promotions doing the same thing. Go ahead.
and being at the PGF, man, and being around other people that or other promoters or guys that own promotions, you hear it going on the whole time that people are trying to get people from PGF into things like UFC, BJJ, into things like EBIs and things like that. So like having a good run at PGF could be what starts off or launches you off into a successful jiu-jitsu career. You know,
And the great thing, go
you have
ahead,
one
please.
good PGF run, and before you know it, you're able to do seminars and things of
Mhm.
that nature. So it's just like I keep saying it, but man, it's such an opportunity.
Well, and we'll wrap up here in a second, but I would just say, like, for people that don't know about the PGF, it is a professional grappling federation. It's a league. We have a 5-week regular season, and this upcoming season, everyone, each player is going to get 10 matches, or potentially 10 matches, and so it's not like a tournament where you can like train for months and you go there and, oh crap, I made a wrong move, and I lost, and man, that flight was expensive, so is that hotel room, and that's all I get. No, I mean, you can have a bad day, and then you can just have this curve where they see the hero's journey in you, and they learn about you. They get to see the behind the scenes, who you really are, whether you're a goofball or a brainiac, or what have you. This is ability to you know to sell your business. It's like, you're not a businessman, you're a businessman.
Yes.
So the potential is limitless. Like I said, we're going to build pathways to make this amazing thing available as much as possible for Coloradans, both to shine locally and to shine nationally and hopefully internationally. And but also, we want it to be amazing for just everyone to be a part of it. To when you tune into the PGF, you're going to see your guys, you're going to see your team competing, and I hope you cheer for us, and I hope that means something to you, and that's something you can get behind, and you can learn from. And then when we come back during off seasons, we can like bring guys around for seminars, so you can learn that sweet move from that guy immediately, like actually in front of that person, not you having to go to them, but them coming to you. I
Yep.
mean, there's so many possibilities here. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So just get ready for a ride.
Yep. Nothing. All I'm saying, nothing confirmed yet, but it looks like we should be having Jaden and Mateus out here to be teaching and doing some seminars and things like that. So that's another thing just to look forward to, and just another positive of having this year. Hopefully we'll have Jaden down here for a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and we can all really learn from him. And it's just nothing but upsides with this team.
Man, that Bolo entry, I just keep watching those videos. Those little short ones he's done. I'm like, good
I,
lord,
I can't believe he hasn't had a Patreon. He says he's getting ready to start a Patreon. I'm excited.
yeah, it's gonna be amazing. And Matthias, his positional dominance and his passing is just top notch insanity.
Unreal positionally, and a lot of people don't know, but he's got some crazy counter leg locks.
Well, we shall
We shall
hopefully
see.
look forward to those
Uh huh.
this upcoming season. Okay, so obviously Jimmy had to take off. Anakin, let's make sure we cover the stuff, the socials for the SubHounds, you, etc. Oh, look at that guy.
Wow, yeah. Who's that handsome fella?
All right,
Uh,
so there's the QR code
yeah,
for his Instagram.
yeah.
Um,
Get at me on Instagram or TikTok. I'm trying to grow my TikTok at the moment. My TikTok's the real me. Instagram's all business.
what are those accounts crazy?
My TikTok?
Yes, and your
No,
Instagram.
no, they're not crazy. My Instagram account's not
No,
crazy.
uh, crazy is just a term of affection from Marines when they're like, "Hey, knucklehead, freaking tell them the actual account name so they can look it up."
Oh, Anakin McMahon. I'm not a Anakin loves jujitsu kind of guy on Instagram. I'm gonna just use my full name. So just look me up at
Okay,
Anakin McMahon, and if you're in Colorado, please come through, come travel, come train with the SubHounds, and we'll let you know what our schedule's like too. Because during the weekends we go to open mats. So reach out, and we'll let you know where we're training at and everything.
awesome. All right, well, Anakin, thank you so much for, I mean, honestly, for the whole season, just coming out there, just being a great person in the house, somebody I could always reach out to and get kind of like a feel for the house and the room, what's going on, and just like figure out what needed to happen, and for what you did for all the guys, and just being well, while a serious shit stirrer, you did bring people together when we were going through some hard times, and I greatly appreciate it, sir. And I look forward to. We'll talk more,
Thank you.
obviously. But all right, so
Thank you.
actually, still back in the green room. We'll talk in a second.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so went a little bit longer than I thought, but once they said we could keep talking, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about. Hey, we're going to keep going with the series. Get you to know as many of the gym owners as possible in Colorado, because I mean that's something that matters to us. Is highlighting the gyms, places you could train, getting to know them, getting to know what type of people they are, because like everyone learns differently from different people. It's also like if you cross train other places, like every coach teaches a technique a little bit differently, emphasizing different things. And it's just a question of figuring out, where you fit, what makes sense to you, and or just, hey, maybe I think this guy's kind of cool, maybe I want to, just cross train a little bit there. So definitely want to do that and show everyone that we really do care about Colorado Jiu Jitsu, and that we want to make a pathway to the PGF for as many of you as we can. And for those of you that aren't competitors, I want you to have fun watching it, and I want you to care, because if it's one of us up there, you will care. So check us out on the website. Maybe consider signing up for the Patreon, which will be more frequent. I swear, I'm gonna get that working more, and get more content on there. So we'll start bringing you in and give you some inside scoop and letting you be a part of the decisions. But I've gone a little long, running my suck, as the Marines would say. So until next week, we can't all have 20-pound brains, but I'll do what I can to help you out. See you then.